Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here for one of the people doing cool things in Barcelona. My name is Ropari Art, Ro for Roxanne, Paris for Barcelona, because we're currently in Barcelona, and art for, not art actually, today interview Ximel. Hi, Ximel.
Hi.
Nice to see you here. So who is Ximel? Ximel is a pro footballer in Barcelona. And the goal is in the video is to get to know her better and also to have her experience, feelings, opinions about this world. Because I don't know how many football women you know, pro footballer you know today, but Ximel is the first one, and I have many questions for her. So today, just before starting the interview, I would like to do a little disclaimer. We're here to share emotions, opinions, feelings. We are not teaching you anything. It's not going to be football for dummies. So please be nice in the comments and also in general in the videos on YouTube. And let's go, Ximel. Do you want to introduce yourself to us?
Okay, yes. I am Ximel. I'm from Sweden originally. That's where I started playing football. At the moment, I live in Barcelona in Spain, where I still play. However, before coming to Spain, I was in Russia playing professionally. Before Russia, I was in Cyprus.
Oh, wow.
Playing professionally. And before Cyprus, I was in Nicaragua and London, etc. But there I wasn't playing professionally. There I was, I don't know, dancing salsa.
Oh, wow. You have so many stuff to tell us. But first, I would like to just make a focus on your name, Ximel.
Yeah.
What's the signification of your name?
Ximel is the goddess of the air.
Wow. So you have light feet. You can.
I don't know. I was just going to say, I don't claim to be some kind of goddess or anything, just to make that very, very clear in the beginning of this show. Speaking of hate, I guess that would generate definitely hate. It means goddess of the air. It's a name from the Maya Indians in Latin America, in Nicaragua. I grew up my first 3 years there.
Okay.
And the story about my name is long. It has nothing to do with football, so maybe we can leave it for some other time. Or do you want me to tell it?
No, actually, it's a really good beginning because I was about to ask you, how did you start playing football? Because I was going to ask if in Sweden it's maybe more common for little girls to play football, because in France, I grew up in France. I promise you that no girl of my generation was telling me when we were little, they were like, we want to be princesses or pastry chefs, but no one said footballer.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, honestly, I realized that not everything is like Sweden when I actually came out of Sweden. And here in Spain as well, like so many of the girls that I play with here, who are really, really good, they started really, really late. Like, to me, it's so surprising that you can be at the level you are today when you start at 12, 13, 14 to play. Like, many times what you hear within football, if you haven't started and you've gone like, pro and very like intentional in your career by 8, it's basically over, In Sweden, where I grew up, it felt very natural. Like, all my friends, playing in the girls' team at 6, 7. When I started, that was super natural. So I've never had what many women footballers have had. Like, the first year you play with boys,
okay,
and then at a certain age, when there are more girls starting, then you can go over to like a women's team or a girls' team. I've always played with girls.
So was it like kind of one day you were at school and you were playing with the ball and you were like, oh, I would like to continue playing like that? Or was it a choice at one point?
No, definitely the opposite. I hated it. I dreaded football. I was forced to play by my mom. And I don't think I've ever asked her like why she was so determined that I was going to play football. I think she took me for the first time when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
That's one of my first vivid memories. Someone shoots the ball, and it's a 6-year-old. It can't have been that hard, but I remember it as like, wow, such a punch in the stomach. And I think I'm standing in the queue, and I can just feel like tears coming up and coming out my eyes, and I can't control it. I'm like, I hate this. I felt so like humiliated. And then I think 6 months later, she took me back once again.
So she was determined with football specifically.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
But I did do loads of sports, like, and I guess my parents had like some, like, I don't know, my dad probably had like cross-country skiing. He's like, you're doing cross-country skiing. My mom
Okay.
had football. I played ice hockey. You know, there was layers of it.
So your mom is also a footballer?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. So that's why I also been surprised when growing up, because when I'm in teenagers and then you really have to commit to football. It's you know, it's about going home, doing your homeworks, after football practice, coming home, continue with the homework. Like, it's really a routine about football, and you can't go downtown and hang out with the other 14-year-olds and smoke behind, you know, the store.
And drink and make all the
Exactly.
bad stuff you're supposed to do when you're a teenager.
Exactly. And then instead she was like, oh, Ximel, you have a cough, stay home, don't go. And I was like, of course not. Like, it's only a cough. Of course I need to go to football practice. Like, this is commitment. So I was surprised that then she would be like, you're playing too much, like, chill.
So you had the chip at one point, that you really wanted to continue with this sport.
So I'm jealous at many of my football friends who can say and go back to their childhood and say, like, yeah, already from the beginning I said I wanted to be a professional footballer, and this was who I looked up to. Like, I can't remember I ever thought of that. I can remember when I was 14-year-old and my team made it to the championship, the Swedish championship, and we won it. And I can remember that I had to miss school to go to this tournament and play, and that I felt proud about it. Like, it was something I wanted
Important.
exactly. I wanted to show off that, hey, I'm skipping school because I need to go and play the championship of you know, the Swedish championship. So maybe sometime there, but still, I was still playing ice hockey at a very high level, you know, as well.
So it was not, you were not about just one sport. You were proud about the legitimation it gave you, like the importance it gave you at school, in your social circle.
Yeah.
It's funny what you said, because for me it was exactly the contrary.
Okay.
I was really good at swimming, and at one point my teacher asked my mom if I maybe could do some competitions and then maybe do the school with sports. And my mom, she was not very fond of it, and I remember her saying, like, Roxane, you're really not made for competition. I can see that you want everyone to win, and if you go into competition hard, you will suffer. And I was like, no, my teacher said I can do it. And so I went to my first competition, and I was against 2 other girls, and I remember winning and being really proud of myself. But the girl that arrived last, she started to cry, but it was not just tears. She was screaming and calling her mom, and it was awful. And I remember turning to my mom, in the gradients were waiting for me, and she was like, told you? And I stopped competition, and I never... Now I do sports where I don't have to compete against anyone.
Yeah. But that I think it's a very valid point, because I can recall being younger and girls on my football team were like, "Oh, it's okay that we lost. At least the other team won, and we're happy for them." And I couldn't relate to such a comment. I was like, "What are you talking about?" Like, so there's probably is that.
Competitive. You have to be a little bit competitive to do
exactly.
it.
And like it. I like being better than you. Like, this gives me satisfaction, that I win, and not that you lose, obviously. That sounds like very bad, but give me satisfaction that I win.
Actually, I have an anecdote, and I can confirm what you said because I saw it with my own eyes. Obviously, the first day we met, I saw you before we met. You were walking in the office because we have the same job, and you had such a charisma. I asked my team, "Oh, who is she?" And they were making fun of me because they were like, "Oh, you're in love with Ximel," and I was like, "Who's Ximel?" But she has such a in our corporate world, we would say an executive presence.
Oh, wow. That
And
sounds flashy.
yeah. But then we went to this team building. So we were a group of 40 people and we had to do a race of karting. And that day, I really, I hate competition. Now everyone knows. And I really didn't want to start my new job by competing against my colleagues. And you asked me to take my turn. So because you already had yours with the first 20 people that did a race, and then you wanted to win again. So you took my name.
And it was about, they didn't divide it into girls and boys.
Maybe.
Wasn't that what happened? And then you were left out, like you didn't want to.
Yes.
So I competed with the girls, and then all the boys were going to go up and compete against each other.
Okay.
And I was like,
And then you took my name, and I saw my name on every chat. I was the first one, and people were like, wow, Roxane, you're the new girl, and you're so good. I was like, yeah. I took the...
I'm happy I could bring you some,
Thank you very much.
glory and fame in karting.
I loved letting people know that it could have been me. But you were so happy to be the first one, and actually you were in the top of men and women.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
So-
The excuse is that if you're lighter, it goes faster.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, anyways. Yeah.
Also on the field of football?
No, I don't think it's the same laws of physics there.
Yeah, do you need some, when you're a kid, like do you see bodies that are more fit for this sport? Or do you build your body?
So I think that's one of the interesting parts about football. I think that's one of the arguments what football is a really, really good sport for the masses, just because you can be really tall, muscularly, big, and you could also be really short. It's like there's so many different bodies that can fit and become really, really good and professional football players. While as sports like, for example, swimming, like you need in your genes, like one kind of body.
Long feet,
Yeah.
long hands, strong arms,
Yeah.
strong shoulders.
Yeah, like to become a really, really good swimmer.
Okay, so you would say that in your team you have different bodies and different strengths, or your teams, I put an S because you
Yeah.
are in two teams
Yeah,
today.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and like maybe this would sound strange, but like I'm even surprised how many different bodies it is. Like,
Okay.
um,
I have this impression when I go at the gym for CrossFit.
yeah,
Because it's true when I was swimming a lot, swimmers, they have this V shoulders.
yeah.
So you recognize immediately a
Yeah,
swimmer. But
yeah.
in CrossFit, like people are way more, like they accentuate what they already have. So the bodies are really different. And,
Okay, then I'm learning something new. So in CrossFit, you wouldn't see like very muscly bodies. Like you would see different kind of body
but
types.
they can be more dry or more muscular.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about pro CrossFitters. So sorry,
Yeah.
CrossFitters,
Yeah.
if there are many of them now. I'm just talking about the gym
Okay.
across my
Okay.
my house.
Yeah.
But you have a very strong, as you said, short people, or less strong, tall people, or very strong, very thin people, or less strong, very muscular people.
Yeah.
It's super interesting.
But also, like as a final comment, just to that, like I think as the sports kind of evolves and become more and more professional, you will see more and more of maybe the same amount of muscles and the same amount of fat. Like it probably becomes slimmer and slimmer, the span of different kind of body types. Like you would probably see it in the men's football from the 70s up to today. You would see it in the women's football from the 90s up until today.
Did you had a diet also when you were a kid?
No, I didn't. I think when my upbringing within football, like that's when it started, the whole understanding of how holistic sport is, like doing sport is. So it started late in the end, like to understand that what you eat, how you sleep, how you rest, how you recover, all of that. But it's true, like early in my football career, we did speak about like drinking and eating and all of that. But no, I can't say that's. I've had much apart from my Russian trip. Then it was very the opposite. Then it was very, very much instead.
We will speak about that. So
Yeah.
you started thanks to your mom.
Yeah.
At first, a little bit against your will.
Yeah.
Then you started to like it. Then you found competition very fun. Then you started to have your diet and think about the whole pro stuff. Did you had to face, because I don't know, I don't know anything about Swedish culture toward that, but in France, when I grew up, I realized that the other day while preparing this interview. So from 11 to 15, we are going to a school called college. And in college, it's just before lycée, which is before university. And in college, I was with the young sport espoir from Clairefontaine, which is the national center of football of France. And I remember very well, they were starting between 13 and 14. And we could spot them very easily because they were only men, only from the immigration also. And they were extremely stressed because they were going to our school just for the classes and then they were going back to train. So they were extremely handsome and popular, and they were a little bit the kings of the school. Also, I remember that they were paid, and they were always wearing this. They were spending their money like they were adults. So we had this clash, of people our age when we were. If like teenagers, we were thinking about still some dolls and playing The Sims and trying alcohol, as you said. But they were having a job and they were so worried about passing 14s or 15s because if they were not good enough, they would go back to where they came from. Yeah. And it was such a pressure because most of them were from family with not much money and we could feel this pressure. Did you also have that in Sweden, or is it totally different?
No, but it is an interesting topic when it comes to football, because football has historically been like a working class sport for men.
Okay.
And it's just recent years that, also other classes put their children to the football academy. Yeah. When it comes to women's football, I can't say how it was in France. I think even the national team still today in France, it's very immigrant, like the ratio between immigrants and French players. Like obviously they're also French.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
From other territories, the extended territories.
Yeah, exactly. It's still like very high in women's. In Sweden, I think in women's football, it's very strongly connected instead to middle class.
Okay.
Not much working class.
Are they rebellious and bourgeois?
No, I think it's like my mom basically. It's a very conscious. It's a very conscious choice that I want my children to, have the experience of a team sports and what that could learn. It wasn't like a thought of like we're going to make money as a family of my daughter becoming professional football. It wasn't that. It was about, what can best prepare my daughter for the world. Like team sports it's
the best.
You have to compose with other people. It's so good. Like it's the best.
So you never had to face this this stress of becoming pro or making.
No, but what it brings instead is that all these women, apart from playing football, they're doing 100 other projects as like young women in middle class, basically. So you study full time, you work part time because you have to make your money so you can, buy your clothes or wherever. And then you play football. If you want to call it like full time or part time, like you have 2 full-time jobs or 2.5. Yeah. So I think in that sense, it's very stressful, and it's very like I think we've lost a lot and too many really good women's footballers just because they have to do too much to sustain. And that's one of the biggest difference.
Yeah.
A boy, as you say, at 14, 15, they were already understanding that, okay, this could be a choice for me and I could leave with this choice. I can concentrate on this 100%. And we also see that, like many of the men's football players, what grades do they have in school? While as if you look at the women's, like, you know, they're politically conscious, how they speak, the grades in school, move on to law school, while they're balancing a football career.
Yeah. Just for the public, also you are very involved in the woman in business network at our job. Like you're very conscious about like femininity in activities around you, not just in football. That's just something to add to your CV today. There is a book, I wanted to offer it to you today, but it's just in French, and I don't want you to learn French just for that book. But maybe one day if they translate it. There is this football player from France in the national team. She's called Grace Gueillero. I don't know if you know her.
Yeah.
But she released a comics about her life and especially her childhood to show how we think that it's really difficult as a woman to start the career as a football player. And she's showing that for her, it was all about passion and way more easy than people think.
Okay.
And I found it beautiful, actually, not to make a piece of art just about how hard life is, because life is hard for many people, not just for women, also for men and society. And it's not getting in the good way politically. Sorry for that comment, but we know it's difficult these days. So I totally recommend this book. That is also very beautiful. The illustrations are really beautiful. I have one last question about your childhood. Did your family worry at any time when it started to get serious, your football practice?
Worry about me?
Yes. The consequences, maybe the cost, maybe what it would do to you if you didn't succeed, because you succeeded, so it's easy. But I suppose lots of people are left on the bench, let's say, of the...
Yeah, but I succeeded in one sense, but I also have not succeeded. I've never made it to the national team. Like it's really a scale of how much you succeeded or not. And so I consider it a success since I didn't have like a set goal of how my football career. So just the bonus of playing professional, that to me is like, wow, it's a super success. If they were worried, I don't think so.
Okay. They supported you the whole way.
So apart from when I had my cough then and my mom thought I should stay home and not go to football practice.
Okay.
But there's so many like parents who involve very early and, on top of their children, and this is what you're going to become. I can only recall and I can only remember that I was like, oh, by the way, I've been selected for this team now. And my parents go, oh, that's fun. Great. And it's not like, okay, then you have to perform in this kind of way. And this is who's going to come and watch you. And this is what's going to happen. And even like in my early ages when they select, maybe you don't know this, but they always like select like the top players from each region, and then they play region against region. Here in Spain, for example, you have the Catalan national team.
Okay.
Even sub 15, sub 16, like very early, and they compete about the to the Basque, for example, etc. So even when I was selected for that, and I was supposed to go to like training camp, my parents was like, "Yeah, but we're going to holidays to Greece," and it was no question about like, "No, we have to stay here for Ximel's possibilities and stuff." And
okay, interesting.
And
they were relaxed.
They were very relaxed, and just turned out to be this way. Like it sounds.
Maybe that's why you're competitive, because you want to prove that you can do it by yourself. You don't need the help of anyone.
Yeah, maybe.
And did you have any role model growing up? Because female football seems to have less visibility more today, but before in our generation.
Yeah. Also some, like the Swedish girls, yes, I think they became kind of role models and famous a little bit earlier than here. So there were a few names.
Okay.
Also Marta, I don't know if you're aware who Marta is.
No.
So Marta is the football player that's maybe the first one that made women's football famous.
Okay.
So she's won as many Ballon d'Or as Messi, basically, and
Nice.
she's a Brazilian that started professionally very early, and her first destination was Sweden.
Okay.
So, you know, we had access to her talent basically very early.
You mean seeing her live or talking to her?
No,
or?
no. There was no contact. I have played against her.
Oh, wow.
And I have been singing on the beach and around the fire set with her. But this was earlier. So this was just to understand that, oh wow, football can take you to new places. It can make you professional. You can cobrar, ¿cómo se dice?
Earn money.
You can earn money from it, etc. So,
was it when you were a teenager? Did football help you to seduce guys, or did you use it as a
tool
yes.
in my toolbox? Yeah, I think football has worked in my favor.
Nice. Yeah, because you can play with them while the other girls are waiting for them to stop playing.
To stop playing, exactly.
Okay.
And I can already present myself on. Yeah, no, I definitely think it's it worked magic.
Okay. And do you feel that the football culture, because you named so many different countries where you played, is strongly different from one country to another? Or
Yeah.
there is a okay.
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest contrast, playing professionally in Cyprus, where the day was about being on the beach and hanging out with the other professional footballers, because the island has many of those.
And the island is tiny, so
The island is tiny, exactly. Till going to Russia, where we, as a women's team, were locked inside a base. We were there was control. So when we left the base and came in again, we had to sleep there. We had to train there. We had to eat there. We had to take our pills there.
Oh, wow.
We had to, everything was there. So big difference from so much freedom and footballer to no freedom at all and only footballer.
Did you know that before going to Russia?
No, I didn't.
So why did you go?
Because
there was no beaches in Russia.
No, there was none at all, and it was very inland. But because you have to try things.
Okay. Was it a step in your career? Was the team better, or you just wanted to change maybe?
No, it was better because this was a team that was playing in Champions League. So for me, it was, and in the team, I think we had players from Jamaica, USA, national team, from Cameroon, from Brazil, national team, from Spain, national team, from Italy, national team, Russia, national team, Ukraine, national team, Sweden, not Russian national team, boohoo. Georgia, and so obviously it was a new environment. It was a step in this experience is la bomba. This is really, really good experience.
Did you stay long there?
1 year.
Okay. Because then you had a better offer, or you wanted to escape from this very rigid
then it was about escaping.
Okay.
It was I'm not complaining about the experience at all. It was a super cool experience, but living 1 year being so controlled.
Do they have better results thanks to that, or?
And so I can't speak for all the Russian football teams. Our team was based on discipline. If you have never been to football practice, but I can tell you that what happens in the beginning is that everyone plays around in the ball, chippy chappy,
the warm up.
But not even warm up, even before warm up.
Okay.
The ball is a tool for playing, and that's what all footballers do. You play, you speak, and talk. In Russia, we weren't allowed to play with the ball. All the balls had to be left alone, and we had to stand instead on the side like a military with our hands behind our back until coach came and kicked off the practice. So there was no like playfulness, there was no joy,
Okay.
which is football is about. Like when you see these, you know, movements and dribblings, like that comes from just have been in you know, trying things out during your childhood, basically.
Yeah.
And here was just discipline.
To prepare this interview, I was watching some documentaries about Messi and all the greats, and they were saying that what differentiates the great players is that they still play with the ball. They love it. Anytime they can, they're not just using the ball as a tool during a match where they will be paid and be fantastic players. They also love playing with the ball. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But obviously, we would love to be, because it may be the shonen effect. We want friendship and playful times to prove that it makes better people. But does it really make better football players, or is discipline a real way to make better players? Or do you need this playtime?
So you need the split. Like one of the things I complain about in Spain, in Spanish football, is the lack of discipline.
Okay. After Russia.
Speaking again about like the different culture and different... I'm sure that the Barcelona women's football team don't have a lack of discipline, but there's so much jiji-jaja and complain about that you need to run.
Okay.
Like they only want to play.
Okay.
You know, and only want to do the playful stuff.
Okay.
But I mean, you know, I'm also like anyone who knows about football knows that the Nordic football is much more physical and etc.
Why? You keep running because of the cold weather.
But there's the different ways that football has like grown to be in different countries. Like countries where it's more playful, countries where it's more like physical and tactical, etc. It just has happened like that. So maybe like people won't be surprised when I said that I lack a little bit of discipline in Spain, but I do think it's a little bit boring to once again hear all the teammates go, pero correr, yo no quiero, pero ¿por qué? Pero qué palo. It's como, oh my God, we're here to actually play football. Like, of course you have to run. That you know that in like 2% of the time during a 90 minutes game, that's when you touch the ball.
Okay.
Also 2 minutes. Also there's like 88 minutes that you don't touch the ball and you run or you jog or whatever. But like it's physical football. That's what you're doing.
It's fun because I was hearing also the national coach on the French radio, and he was saying that there were a decrease of the level of in the French teams because the players, when they stop playing the practice, they go back home and they sit on the couch. Stuff that other generations were not doing because they didn't have the smartphone or the TV always, and that they could see that this semi-sedentarity was affecting actually the level of the football.
Yeah. And I think it's super interesting. I can see it firsthand with my daughter plays now.
Okay, because you have 2 kids.
Yeah, 2 children, exactly.
And they're both playing football?
They're both playing football. They're forced, as my mom forced me. They don't want to, but they have to.
Oh my God.
Let's see if it works.
They will be here in 20 years.
Yes. And be like, oh, the traumas from being forced. No. But you can really tell on the football field which of the children, both they're mixed team. This is a good thing about Spain. At this age, it's you're a footballer. You're not a girl or a boy, basically. Nice. Everyone plays together. But you can tell who of the children play in the schoolyards, just like
if they move well.
No. If their playfulness, like their ¿cómo se dice? How they
strategize.
Like. Okay, I can't find the words right now, but how they like play around with the ball, and you can tell who only plays football at the football practice.
Yeah, they have the little tricks that they do apart from the lessons.
No, because they only listen to instructions. They're waiting for instruction. They're waiting for coach to tell them what to do. Okay. While the children who actually plays, you know, off the field and with their friends and just being goofy with the ball, they're just being goofy on the field as well, and it works really well. Like you learn a lot about playing football just being silly and goofy and playful.
Are you expecting anything from the football practice of your children? Expecting anything from them?
Yeah.
To be team players in life, of course.
Yeah. I'm expecting them to have at least my success. And at least take me to a few World Cups and Euro Cups.
Nice. I
Yeah.
can't wait for them to invite us.
Me too. It's going to be so much fun.
Actually,
Finally, I can go to the World Cups.
I met them during a very special game. I think I've been 2 times to a football game live. Once when I was a kid with my dad, but I remember like we were so far away from the field. And actually, this year when I went with you, it was in November. I was so surprised to be so close from the players, and you told me no, but it's not even a normal place to play football. We should be even closer. And I was like, what? But I remember the players to be so far.
Because it was the running track around.
Yes,
so for
yes.
the audience.
And I met your children. And why this game was so special? Because it was Palestine against the Federation Catalana de Futbol. It was an event for peace, and it was very politically. I was about to say involved, but it was more. It was about sharing, about people caring about the others. So my next question was, how did you explain to your children why this game was so special? And do you think football should be politicized?
Yes.
Good.
How did I explain? So that's a conversation. It's like I've taken them to manifestaciones, like demonstrations and stuff. So that's an ongoing conversation, and it's a very repetitive conversation, I must say. Like they keep on asking, like, but why would like a country do that to another country? Like, and I completely understand their question.
And why then do they play with each other?
Yeah.
Why are they here?
Why
Who
are they here? And why are they now shouting Palestina Yura and stuff like so it's a lot of like explaining all the time.
Yeah.
But that's like with any topic with children. You explain.
It's the moment to explain some stuff before they get angry at us and they do their teenage stuff.
I should be happy for the opportunity to explain my worldview, maybe. Now, if politics and football goes together, yes. Like it's obvious that it does. Like just look at how FIFA operates.
What do you mean?
So FIFA is the organization that mandates the world football, basically.
That I know. I did my homework.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear that. And I mean, look where they choose to place the next World Cup or you know, you can tell it's politics. Like this has to do with international relations. Like that's exactly what it is. They're not doing very well in politics, I must say that. But then again, it is governed by, middle-aged men, and they're not doing very well generally in world politics today. So.
We will have a moment to talk about that. But I also wanted to share with you. Sorry, I'm speaking a lot about France today, but it's just because it's my country. And also,
and it's a very good football nation. And the women's are incredible.
Oh, I can't wait to hear more about it. But there is this moment, because I was also thinking to myself, like today, we speak a lot about politics also on social media, on TV, and you have a lot of people, especially young people, asking to stop, like to take off the politics out of activities. And while I was doing my research for this interview, there is this moment. Some historians say it's not, it's a little bit like a legend, but other historians say that it did happen. During the Second World War, France was, having this fight against Germany, and you had this frontier in Belgium. And for Christmas, it seems that French soldiers and German soldiers decided to have a football game together. it was like the
Like a
terrible.
ceasefire.
Yeah, not the Second World War. Sorry, the first one. It was the terrible war where people were, down the earth. It was muddy.
Yeah.
They didn't want to fight, and so during that time they played together. And it seems that the English soldiers lost, and it made everyone
That was
laugh.
important for you as a French to say.
They also made a movie called Merry Christmas in 2005 by Christian Carrion, for those who want to go. And I'm not like football was never a topic for me. But I checked the movie and I was listening to the story and I was feeling the emotion of playing together, because it seems that at least around us in Europe, in all those countries from Sweden to Spain, like we find a way to separate a lot of stuff together thanks to that.
Yeah.
Even war. Maybe even gender clash.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not aware of this story. But my guess is that none of these soldiers on neither side of the war wanted to be there. Were supporting this war. That was mandated from somewhere way up higher.
Yeah, for sure.
But yes, I think many people would agree with me. Like, football is this amazing power to just unify people, and also like make us forget and or maybe pause our other differences. Exactly.
Yeah, for a while.
And I guess that's why people who argue football and politics shouldn't go together, that's exactly why. Like, let us just forget about everything else that's happening and enjoy the game. Absolutely. Like, I agree, let's enjoy the game, but you can't still have this much money, this much power that this organization, like the whole ecosystem around football has, without bringing in politics.
Yeah. Talking about money, we had a question from someone on Instagram, because for what I understood, women pro footballer are less paid than male pro footballer. And the question on Instagram was very clear. The question was, how do we start to counteract the stubborn misogyny in the sports? And this person told us about the fact that he took his little brother, 15 years old, to a game, and that his brother was surprised to really like the atmosphere of the game, and it was a female football game. And he said that the tickets for the football game were cheaper than for a male football game. And he was, like the message was long, and he was asking also, like, how do women, like, it's a good measure to bring up a female football game, but how do they make money out of it? Like, is it really a big difference? Is it changing?
And so, yes, the on both sides. So the top layer of how much the men earn compared to the top layers of how the best women earn, that's a huge difference.
Okay.
And then there's a huge difference when you look at the masses, like how many footballers women earn and how many footballers men.
Question, when you say huge difference, are we speaking about millions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I'm of the opinion that it's not women that need to raise their increase what they earn. I think men probably need to decrease what they earn. Like,
okay, the superstars.
It's ridiculous how much they earn today, and that's when the problem comes in with the politics. Like, we wouldn't have what we're seeing if it wasn't so important, the money in the game.
Okay.
Today you can like greenwash, like wash a whole country's status just by bringing a football player over.
Okay.
And that has to do with and they do that with money. So, but yes, it's definitely changing how much women earn today. And you know that how footballers earn and sports people, it's by those individual contractors, like sponsorships with a brand, etc. And those We've seen the scandals of like brands cutting off the sponsorship just because a
Okay.
woman is pregnant. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
then it's not a sports person anymore, etc. But
Here in
it's
Spain.
no, well, yeah, no, in worldwide,
Okay.
yeah. But
Is it known just by the little circle of football fans, or is it because I didn't hear of this type of things?
no, but it happens in other sports as well.
Okay.
Like in tennis and in golf, etc.
Okay.
The problem is that we have a tendency, I don't know if the chat agrees with me here, but we have a tendency to compare women and men's sports much more when it is a team sport.
Okay.
We compare football, national football teams, national football men and women. While as we don't compare as much women and men when it comes to individual sports. So for example, athletes 100 meter, everyone watches the final of 100 meters in the Olympics men. But
Okay.
everyone also watches the 100 meters of women.
Okay.
We know that the women don't run as fast as the men, but it is as entertaining. It is as much competition in the women's final as the men's final. Whereas for some reason, team sports, there's much more comparison. Like, I can't be watching women's football because I enjoy men's football. Like, oh, all right, okay, but, you know, you enjoy the Swedish first division, which is crap. Like, it's really bad football if you want to compare to really good football.
Okay.
Like, so you are watching good and bad football.
Have you seen this advertising where they put the face of male
Yeah,
players on female
the
players?
French. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It was really funny.
It was, yeah.
It was a big boom, advertising boom.
How
this one.
how did they receive it in France? Like, did it make a difference? Was there a debate?
Yes, everyone knows about this advertising. And for example, you know, before knowing you, I must say football was never my focus. But, you know, like you take a little pride of it, even if you're not
Yeah.
into the game.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're like, oh, wow, they did, like the effect of the advertising also worked on people that
Yeah.
had no idea and no interest in the topic.
Yeah.
So well done, whoever did this.
Well done, whoever did it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you for that. You play for two teams. I would like you just to make a recap of it. And why am I speaking about that now? Because when I was researching about the queensleague, which is one of the league that you play, it was written that Gérard Piqué is trying to make like male visibility as much as female visibility and mixing like making the games really close, so it brings more unity between the two genders. Is it true? Do you feel that on the field?
No, the intentions were there. They're not doing very well today.
Okay,
there's been how many years? 3 years or something like that. 4 years for the men. And it's true. Who doesn't know queensleague? It's so we moved away from traditional football. It's not 11 against 11. It's 7 against 7. It's indoor. There's board game rules. There's a dice. There's suddenly, one goal equals 2. Suddenly you can take away another player from the field and play, 7 against 6, etc. So there's loads of things happening. It's very entertaining. And the target group is the younger generation with a short attention span.
Younger from what age, more or less? Less than 20.
Less than 20. Let's say 20 and below. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was the target group from the beginning. So it's obviously like a group that you can still mold, like you can still form the interest, etc. In the beginning, it was very like the men's and the women's went very much hand in hand. We even played one tournament where the women's team for our club played the first half and the men's team played the second half.
Fun.
I thought it was amazing,
Yes.
the concept. It was so much fun because it was the first time I played in 100 clubs, but it was the first time that as a women's team you made connection with the men's team in the same club.
Exciting.
Like even that is it's blown away. Like how can there not be any connection between the women's within a club?
Yeah.
You know, so really fun. Then what happens is that the men's league then is being exported to other countries while the women's league is not being exported to the same amount. So suddenly there is a market of like creating a World Cup for the men, the final this and final that, which there isn't for the women because they're still only in Mexico and in Spain that the
Okay.
women's are playing. So today it's very unequal there as well. But his promise has been kept. Like women and men have the same pay grades and they earn the same,
Nice.
and the league gives the same amount of money, etc. Today they're like, okay, there wasn't as many spectators watching the women's as the men, so now the sponsorship doesn't equalize and there's much more sponsor. That's also like to me like a little bit of excuses, like, or you tell, hey hey brand, if you want to sponsor our league, which is amazing, and you're going to reach this amount, then you sponsor both men and women. Like there's ways around that, obviously.
You don't have to be sponsored by Oisho or whatever brand of female accessories to play.
Yeah.
How do you get noticed by those teams? How do you get people? Like, do you have to work on your personal branding on social, or do those clubs, those teams come to you and say, hey, we want Ximel, we saw her in that game?
I think actually Queensleague have made that switch a little bit. Like personal brand on social media has created more opportunities for some footballers, which is kind of fun and exciting.
How are you handling social media?
In the beginning, like I only got Instagram because I was accepted and drafted to Queensleague. So I was basically forced to create an account. And in the beginning, I had people doing my post for me. I didn't know what a post or
Were
a
you
story.
paying them? Or was it the
no,
team?
that was a contract, just like, between sponsorship and stuff. And I've always said, like, I think I'm going to take my Instagram down when I finished with Queensleague.
Okay.
I'll see if I've grown some other interest in social media during this time or not. But to me, it's very related to sports, basically.
So the sponsors come to you directly and not to your team?
No, to my... there is obviously depending on what kind of level and what kind of personality you have. For those people who have created their personal brand on social media, they have the opportunities to have their own sponsorship.
Okay.
But in my case, it's been collaborations with brands that sponsor the team I play for. So there I have to participate in like the collaboration.
Yeah, so for example, I don't know, you don't have limitations if the team for whatever reason hates a brand and this brand wants to work with you.
No, there's limitation like that in the contracts. Yeah, you have to respect kind of the contract of the league and the team, and then you're the third.
Okay. So for example, you don't do advertising for detergent or
of what?
Or for soap.
Well, I could, because that is not in competition of the clothes brands of sports that the league has. And so it's about the like competitive environments between different brands, basically.
But how did you enter this team of Queensleague?
It was a draft. So there was... I wasn't aware at all what was happening. The Kings League had already kicked off. So in Spain, people already knew and watched Kings League and were drawn to it. Like, they had filled up Camp Nou for the finals. So there was loads of attention. And then they opened up a draft for the Queens League. And just by coincidence, someone texted me and said, hey, can I have someone's number in my football team? And I was like, no, she's playing in my team. And she said, no, it's just for Queens League. And I started to ask, what's Queens League?
Okay.
And don't you want my number?
Competitiveness is back.
I don't understand why would you have her number, not mine. And then that person sent me the link. You can sign up here. And I signed up with a video and my curriculum, my football curriculum.
So it was a coincidence.
Yeah, it was and it was on the last day. It was a Monday, and the last day I was working at the place where you and I work. And instead of working, I spent the whole day editing my video. And I was like, I hope this pays off. Because if my manager finds out that I haven't done anything work-related today. But it did pay off. Like, I'm so happy that I spent that.
Also for your contact or just for you?
For my contact as well.
Nice.
Yes, very much. And then out of, now I can't remember the numbers. I remember them back in the days. But out of all these women selected were invited to tryouts. We came to tryouts. Everything was recorded, on the stands. All like the future coaches and etc. were standing, like
Are they
taking
women,
notes.
the coaches for women
They tried
football?
in the beginning. There was loads of, but now they're all out apart from one,
Okay.
which is also an interesting discussion. I think if women footballer have increased their status, like the women coaches still have, a long, like they're still struggling where women's, the footballers were maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
And then we were, after that tryout, a bunch of those people were invited then for a draft. And there we all sat on a...
How many people?
How many were it? 300, 400?
Oh, wow.
Maybe?
I was about to ask you 30. No,
No.
10 times more.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then each team read out their number.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Must have been one of the peak of emotion.
That was super exciting. And especially, it was also exciting because I didn't know what it was. Like, what had I signed up for? I hadn't watched a single game. I know someone said, nuestra segundo pick es número 288 Ximel Bladh. And I was like, woohoo, yes.
You were here for
what
the
am
challenge.
I walking into? Yeah.
So what would be, you talked about many moments of your career, but what would you consider one of the epiphany moments, like the peak of most exciting experience?
That, which I just mentioned, was super exciting. Also because there were suddenly so many cameras attached to it.
Yeah.
It was not just only me, but also going from studying, working, and playing in Sweden to become professional in Cyprus. That was a peak moment of wow.
What makes the difference between an amateur and a pro footballer?
The money that you paid for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And what makes a great footballer?
Oi. Wow. I don't think there is one answer to that.
Nice.
There's so many different... Like, you can be a great football player on the field. You can be a great footballer in the changing room. You can be a great leader. You can be a really great follower.
Yeah.
How do I answer that question?
There is space for everyone.
There's space for everyone in football. That's the conclusion of all this.
Do you have also a lowest point that you would like to share with us? Maybe doubts that you had, moments you wanted to quit?
Yeah, no, it's definitely a roller coaster being a footballer. And in the end, you practice so much your physics, like running, dribblings, passes, headers, and you never ever practice your heads.
Okay.
And any sports.
The pressure, you mean?
Yeah, and your thoughts and your exactly. Like, you need to, in the end. So you're very targeted. You're very how do you say in English? Like, in the end, you're very stripped down, naked. Like, you have to perform at a certain time, at a certain place. There's no excuse. Like, you're very, very targeted.
Okay.
Like they can come and eat you up if you don't do well at exactly that moment.
How do you resist that pressure? Or you like it, maybe?
I do. I must be some kind of good at it because I've been in this for so many years. But at the low points, I've been very bad at it instead. And it's only been my head. It's only been like, I don't understand who I should be in this team. I don't understand what I can bring to this team. I don't understand how I can change the role I have if I'm not liking the role I have. Football is really, really mental. Any sports is really, really mental.
What would you say would be the biggest sacrifice that you made to stay in shape or stay to mentally overcome those obstacles?
So I think definitely I've sacrificed kind of happiness and
To discipline, as you said.
Yeah, to discipline, exactly. To showing up, to understanding I'm sacrificing my own happiness right now just because I'm a team player. I just have to be here. I have to play my role. I have to play my parts. And there's been a few moments like that in football, in my football career.
So today you are working, you have a corporate job.
Yeah.
You are also training for both teams.
Yeah.
How do you handle this extreme agenda of yours? And how long do you think doing that?
Good question. I thought I would have stopped by now. Like so many times I'm like, this is my last year. I'm not continuing. And then I continue.
You said that last year. I remember I was here.
Yeah. And the last time I was very, very miserable in football, I also was like, what am I doing? Like, I can stop now. And I still didn't. And now I'm happy again in football. I love it. Absolutely love it again. So how do I think my theory is that there's things in life that drain your energy and there's things in life that give you energy. And you can't just because your schedule is full, you can't just be doing the things that drain energy. I'm not speaking bad about a full-time job here, but it is draining. It is hard work. You're tired by the end of the day.
Yes.
I still recommend anyone to work. I think it's really fun and really challenging. And at our job, I feel challenged as my job. I feel that I develop. I'm intellectually challenged.
Our job is also competitive.
It's also competitive, etc. But by the end of the day, it's 9 o'clock. It's dark. It's raining. Y me da un palo ir to practice. But in the end, I understand it's a commitment. I go, I show up, and then I come back and my battery, I've gained energy. And I can go to bed. I sleep well, 8 hours. And I don't just have things that drains.
And the day you want to stop being a pro player, running everywhere, and have this discipline, do you want to stay into the world of football, like becoming a coach or be a player all your life, or what? Have you thought about that, or you're just playing at the moment and enjoying every minute?
Yeah, I love playing football, but I would say I'm a bad
coach.
I don't know about football. I don't know a lot about football. I don't watch football. I don't dig into the theories. I don't dig into the strategies. I see a ball, I kick a little bit, and I'm happy. I think I would need a little bit more of strategic, thinking and understanding of football to become a coach. But I do think I could be a very good resource in the locker room. There's the coach, the staff, it's a whole equipo, a team only of that.
Okay.
And there needs to be someone who sees the individual within a team. I think it could be a really good source that, motivation and leader in another way.
Have you seen people quitting?
Yes.
Around you?
Too many.
Too many? Okay.
Yes. And really good, really, really good football players that quit because, as I said before, they have also need to study full time. They also have to work. There's too much for women footballers to do. When the men can just focus on football and they can concentrate on that.
You mean because of the salary, they need to have two jobs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been that. Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly.
And how would you describe? It's a difficult question.
Yeah.
How would you describe you as a player? What are the adjectives you would put on yourself?
Okay. Leader.
Okay.
Calm.
You mean when the pressure is on, the other team is really good, there are more goals?
Then probably I'm panicking, but since I don't play, no. But I think I give away a calmness in defense.
Okay.
Communicative, slow.
In what sense?
So I'm not fast.
Running, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I could be had been fast, I could have reached so much. Like, it would have been so amazing, but I'm so slow, unfortunately. Yeah.
And what about the other team? Because we spoke a lot about queensleague because people on Instagram had only questions for that.
Okay.
It's the most popular.
Yeah.
But what about your other team? What's the specificity of the other team?
So the other team is called Europa. It's here up in Gracia.
Okay.
And Europa was my intention to retire from football.
Okay.
Yeah. So I said, I'm not going to play at this level anymore where I have to travel the weekends, etc. I want to have something much more local, much less commitment. In the end, I don't know, that's not going very well because it's still like practice 3 times a week, game every weekend. But at least I've reached a level where like I really, really enjoy football again. Yeah, and I can handle kind of the commitment.
So where can people see you if they want to see you play after this interview?
So, as we've spoken about, like women's football is not broadcasted much, but that's the very good thing about Queensleague. Like Queensleague, that's why they also have question about Queensleague, because you can see that you've understood, like you've seen, you have made an understanding of a player, etc. And that's what's missing in any football that's not being broadcasted,
Okay.
which is mostly women's football. So that would be the link, like on Twitch and on YouTube. There you have all the games that's I've ever played, and otherwise you have to come out in the rainy weather and see me
for
live
sure in Barcelona. Where do you play?
On Saturday I play 4:00 in Barcelona.
Okay.
If someone wants to come and watch.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that was also a question on Instagram. Like, imagine people
Coming.
to your game suddenly.
Yeah.
Okay. And I have 2 last questions because we already passed 15 minutes the time. But these questions are very important for the people that are watching you and thinking that maybe, it could be their chance also to dream about being maybe a pro football player. So where should a young girl start if she wants to become a footballer in 2026?
So probably it's still a very good idea to start to play with the boys.
Okay.
And they still have much more resources, the better training grounds, the better hours for practice, much more coaches associated to them, etc. Even though there are women's, like now you would always find a women's or girls team as well. But I would probably still say that it's, a good idea is to start playing with the boys. And then, I think we've commented before, like the footballers that always have the ball under their arm, like you have to kind of love the ball, right?
Love the ball.
So
like
you
a cat with a...
Exactly. Yeah, a good so that you always play wherever you are, basically. Not only at football practice.
Live the passion. And one mistake that they should avoid? One common mistake?
I don't know, give up too early.
As so many people doing.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think it's also like my life motto a little bit, like, don't give up. Like, why would you do that?
If you have a ball in front of you, just kick it.
Or whatever you do, like, of course you're going to continue. Yeah.
One last topic you would like to speak about, something important for you that you would like to share?
No, I don't know. How did it feel for you? Like your first football interview knowing nothing about football?
Yes, I was really surprised because when I spoke about today on social media, I only had a reaction from men. Women, they were like, "Oh, nice! She's probably a boss girl." she's a pro, good for her. But the ones really interested, sending me questions, they were guys, and they were so curious. Who you were, where you were from, how old you were, how you were playing, why, when, where, and I don't know much about this area, as I confessed, and I did my homeworks for today, but I learned so much in 2 weeks. I really think that social media are bringing us together, and that we should still, even if it seems like obvious for us that men and women are equal, we should still fight and spotlight the one that needs to it. It's super nice to have superstars. We love Messi in Barcelona, of course, but I'm sure, that you can give me 2 or 3 names of people you admire that I have never heard of, and that probably I won't, even if my Instagram feed now is full of female football players.
Yeah.
There is, from my side, one topic that I was not sure if I wanted to speak about, because it's just about how I felt, because when I spoke to girls about the interview today, they all wanted me to talk about the unwanted kiss after the
the Spanish,
in the Spanish team. For those who don't know, the coach kissed without the consent of the player to celebrate the World Cup. One female player of the Spanish team.
It's not the coach; it's the president of the in the Spanish Football Federation, a man who leans in to kiss a girl. Yeah.
And then I think those topics are not specific to football. I don't know any women that didn't had. We've been touched in transport. We've been insulted. We are insulted in the streets, and also I feel that all the topics that women asked me to speak about were about being women and not being a football player. The age. What does it make you more beautiful? Are people not considering you after an age? Are you outdated? Do you have to be beautiful to be successful? Do you have to kiss some of your important people of your club to have a career? I think we already know the answer, because it happens in so many fields, and that's why I didn't enter these topics. But what are your thoughts about it?
So I think if we're already over time, I think that topic is like, it's, as you say, it's like it's a topic on its own almost. And it would almost be interesting to have like one footballer, one, I don't know,
handball player,
and
one swimmer. Because also in swimming in France for the Olympics some years ago, we had a very bad buzz about coaches.
And there's loads of predators within football. Within sports and towards children, like both boy children and girls children, unfortunately. But the good part about it is like it was so concrete. Like the Spanish national team had been for years and years and years saying like, this is not working. Like, you're not taking this seriously. We're being treated X, Y, and Z. And then finally there was like cameras all over, and it was a kiss. Like something tangible that people,
for everyone.
Tangible. I can understand. And suddenly they got the opportunity to tell the story that they had been telling for so many years, and be like, fine, do you understand what we're saying now?
There is a documentary on Netflix where many players explain how they behaved at that moment, the pressure they received. Did you receive any pressure on your own during your career?
No.
Good for you.
Yeah, very good for me.
Okay.
Phew, maybe that's why I still play.
And you still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to your kids. Good continuation to you. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And see you tomorrow at work.
Yes. Woohoo!